You weren't dressed the same last time, but I don't forget a face. No hard feelings, huh? Join me in a glass?
Your Jack the Ripper is on everyone's lips and written in all of the papers. You must be awfully proud of yourself. You have skill, that's for certain. It's a shame you use it to mask rather than discover the truth.
You better believe that I'm going to find out who it is. I got a hold of old Schwartz's interpreter. You know, the Hungarian who saw Liz Stride get it. Doesn't speak a word of English. And when he went round to the station, another Jew went along to interpret.
Whoa.
I found that bloke, and he repeated everything that had been said at the station. It won't be long before I find these fellows.
Why do you say these fellows? Were there several of them?
Do you not read the papers, or what? Well, given the rubbish that you read sometimes. Let me explain. At 12:45 a.m., Schwartz goes down Burner Street towards Fairclough, on the side of the road where the Workers' Club is. A bit further from there, just near Dutfield Yard's wooden doors, a chap and a lady are arguing. The Star said that the bloke wanted to push the girl into Dutfield's yard, but the translator told me that Schwartz saw him pulling her towards the road. She doesn't want to follow. He grabs her by the shoulders and throws her to the ground. She falls a bit, but not too loudly. Old Schwartz is scared, crosses to the other side, but continues in the same direction. The bloke with the girl notices him and yells, "Lipsky!" At the same time, another bloke at the corner of Fairclough and Burner who was lighting his pipe gets in on the action. He starts coming towards Schwartz in a menacing way, and Schwartz takes to his heels, doesn't see anything else. Once he finds out that a woman got herself killed, he went to testify, and identified Long Liz Stride as the woman he saw getting thrown about. So there were definitely two blokes, mate. But why am I telling you all this?
In vino veritas.
That's true. But the plot demands
I'll
it.
take my leave then, Mr. Bully.
That's right. Till next time.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
I'm missing some information.
Not really. Let me talk to you.
A draft, my good man.
Oi, that's it. Don't get mad.
Here, sir.
Tell me, was it not a mere stone's throw away from here that the Whitechapel killer struck last week?
That'd be Jack the Ripper, that's his name. Slit the throat of a working girl in a small courtyard over there behind them big wooden doors.
Below the Workers' Club?
The very spot, below Lipsky and Co. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack was one of them, if you catch my drift.
Cool.
Lipsky
Hey,
and
it was like
Company.
Jews.
Do you mean to say
All of
that
them.
someone called Lipsky runs
So
this club?
rude.
Nah, it's just that it's full of Jews. In
Jesus.
Whitechapel, we call them all Lipskys. Like that Lipsky who killed that girl in Batty Street last year.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Last
really?
year, a Jew named Israel Lipsky killed a lass who was 6 months pregnant by making her drink
That's
acid.
racist.
One trial and one protest by rabbis later, and he was hanging.
No, that's
By those who don't
racist.
much
Okay.
like them, the Jews are called Lipskys.
Is the term Lipskys used to refer to the Jews in the area? And is this club frequented by Jews?
You got it. Socialist Jews even. They spend their evenings hollering, singing. I've seen them spitting on the bosses.
And you know the victim?
No more her than any other. The working girls don't drum up business too much in this street. They need a reason to end up here.
Very well. Goodbye.
Cheers.
What an ass. I don't like him.
Do you even like anybody is the question. Do you even? Ugh.
Bitch,
First
am
and
I?
foremost, I must find PCC.
Oh!
Oh, wait,
I'm
what?
PC Smith.
Who's...
Maybe that's that guy right there. I don't know.
Good evening, Constable.
Good evening, sir.
I am Dr. Watson. Would you happen to be PC Smith, the man who patrols this beat?
That's me. And you work with the famous Sherlock Holmes, don't you? What can I do for you?
I believe you were on duty the night when the murder took place here. You would certainly be able to confirm a few details, such as the time of death that the medical examiner gave.
It's just that I wasn't there when the body was discovered. I don't think I can help you.
But I was told that you had seen the victim that very night.
Indeed. But it was before the murder. I saw her, not far from here. She was talking to a man. It was around 12:30 or 12:35 a.m.
Christ.
What did this man look like?
I only saw him from behind, really. He was wearing a short black outfit, a small felt hat like a cap in a dark colour. and a white collar. He seemed to be a respectable type. He was carrying a packet in his hand, wrapped in newspaper, about 18 inches long and about 6 inches
What the
wide.
fuck?
His outfit reminds me of someone that I know. Was he a large man, on the older side?
I don't think so, no. Even though I only saw him from behind, I would say that he was barely 30 years old, or even less. Say 28, or even less. 26 years old, and 5 foot 8 inches tall at the very most. He had a small dark brown moustache and an olive complexion, I would say, but once again, I only caught a brief glimpse of his face in three-quarter profile.
Nobody else saw this man?
I discussed this previously with Mr. Eagle, the president of the Workers' Club. That night he returned around 12:40 a.m. to the club. He used the passage through Dutfield's yard to get into the club because the main door was
Either
locked.
the criminal was
He could
extremely
attest
lucky,
that he didn't see anyone else in the passage at that
or
time,
everybody in fucking
but wasn't
Whitechapel
really
was
paying
stupid
attention
as
to who
fuck.
else might have been in Burner Street itself.
Like they just,
He was
I don't
listening
see
to the song
nothing, I
coming
only
from the
saw
club.
a little bit.
In short, no one else saw him.
Yep.
Well,
Nobody saw
thank you
shit.
for having satisfied my curiosity, my friend.
A fine evening to you, Doctor.
Watson.
Oh.
Dutfield's yard. Your interrogation of P.C. Smith has proven to be very shrewd and of great interest. Thanks to the information I've managed to gather and that you were able to read in my
Fast
notes in
talker.
Baker Street, Watson,
real fast
we
talker.
can recreate what happened that fateful night at this location, Dutfield's yard to be precise, the site of Liz Stride's murder.
Deductions. We don't need these, so why did you put me in here? Timeline. Perhaps. Here we go. Alright. Oops. What the fuck? Hey! Alright. 1 a.m. Mr. pulled away in his cart on the pony.
On the pony.
On the pony?
1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz wants to enter with his cart, but the pony refuses. We know that the murder took place between 12:45 and 1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz, therefore, must have disturbed the killer.
I find pony to be a funny word.
12:40.
12:40 a.m. Eagle, the president of the club, enters the workers' club via the passageway through Dutfield's yard. He passed through Dutfield's yard. If Liz Stride had already been killed, he would have had to walk over her. The murder, therefore, had not yet happened.
That would be kind of fucking bootleg if he did that. 12:43.
12:43 a.m. Israel Swartz passes by Dutfield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride.
12:44.
12:44 a.m. Schwartz crosses to the other side of the road. The attacker sees him and yells, "Lipsky." The attacker must have shouted to his accomplice at the end of the road, "Lipsky," indicating at Schwartz using his head in an attempt to scare off this undesirable.
Racist. 12:45.
12:45 a.m. Schwartz runs away, followed for a short distance by this man.
Yeah, you missed all that. It was kind of bootleg looking. Midnight.
Midnight, the Socialist Club meeting ends. The members, mainly Jewish men, gradually begin to leave the club in little groups or alone.
Oh, that's sad.
12:20.
12:20 a.m. The American leaves the Socialists Club for some fresh air. The street is deserted.
12:30 to 12:35.
12:30 to 12:35 a.m. Smith notices Liz Stride talking to the man with the package. Let's place Liz Stride's murder on the timeline, Watson.
No, that's not right. between these times right here. Let's see. It goes out for some here.
It's between 12:40 something and another time.
But that would be impossible because he would have had to have. Oh.
12:45 to 1 a.m., the murder of Lestrade. It took place in this very spot, as the traces of blood were very confined. We will come back to this point in a few moments to elaborate on what could have happened. Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
You fucking think we're missing a whole bunch of information, Shirley?
This door leads to the club for Jewish socialist workers.
Here we go.
This is the fun part.
Watson, imagine the victim laid down there on the ground.
Oh, that's what he's doing? Oh, Watson. Damn.
Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist.
Okay. We'll come back to that later.
I have a feeling I know what that means.
Her left hand, it is closed around a bag of pastils. The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
Well, the tongue wouldn't be bloated.
The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted
Does she would
downwards.
have a bruise on her face as well?
Yeah, which I don't see. Yeah, she was not strangled.
She was killed by her throat, which is why there's blood on her hand.
Which means somebody else did this. It doesn't fit the MO of the
Her
other.
left hand, it is closed around a bag of pastils.
Doesn't fit the MO of the other killer.
So is that puddle of blood just not like...
Yeah, is that not
Her knees and dress, they are clean.
her knees and dress are clean?
Okay.
Deductions. The knees and the bottom of the dress are at the front are clean. The wound to the neck is clean, starting from the right and slightly oblique and descending. Bloody right hand at the wrist, and the carotid wasn't slit. The victim was bleeding from the nose. The victim had her hand out. The victim put her hand on her throat.
Yep.
She was gasping. She was surprised. I mean, she was still alive when it happened. Murder blade used in the knife blade used in Lestrade's murder was thin. The murder weapon used against Lestrade was a Missoula. The knife blade used in Lestrade's murder was thick.
It didn't look too thick.
Very good, Watson. The wound to the neck is clean. The blow was given to the middle of the neck. The blow was given with the right hand. The blow was given with the left hand.
Right.
Oh boy. There's only one wound. It proved to be mortal. The victim had her neck wrung. There is but one superficial wound to the neck.
There's only one wound to the neck.
The murderer struck the blow from below. The murderer struck the blow from above. The murderer struck the blow from his height.
Well, if she had been pushed on the ground, it would be from below. Wait.
So the
Above.
murderer struck. So would it be above or below?
Above.
We'll see. The murderer is strong. The murderer is weak. The murderer is a lumberjack.
He's a lumberjack. Strong.
Lestrade's killer is a weak man, strong man, a woman. A strong man. Duh. Obviously not a lady. Right-handed, ambidextrous, left-handed.
Right.
But something is not adding up here. Maybe we missed some pieces of information. We got the hands. Handled the knees. Pool of blood means nothing because it's strangled or not, but from the clues that we have right here, let's see. As far as I see, Watson, we aren't missing anything. I think our deduction is just wrong.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Okay. Let's go back to, well,
Well, those are right, so it has to be the last one.
his height.
Yeah. No.
Doesn't matter what we pick.
Okay.
We're still missing something. Otherwise, I would have. I'm pretty sure we would have been done by now.
The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
Yeah, already. What about that? The jacket's clean.
Her knees and dress, they are clean. Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist. The ground is muddy.
There we go. That was the last part that we needed. Ground is dirty. The victim was careful. The victim didn't struggle on the ground. The victim struggled on the ground. The victim was lying down. The victim wiped her clothes. The victim was killed upright.
Oh, so now you're letting me choose. Shit.
You're supposed to be paying attention.
Lying down.
Elstrad had her back to the killer. Elstrad and her murderer were lying down at the moment of the mortal blow. Elstrad and her murderer were standing up at the moment of the mortal blow.
Lying down?
Elstrad's killer is taller than the victim. Elstrad's killer is shorter than the victim. Elstrad's killer is approximately the same height as the victim.
Approximately the same height.
That's incorrect.
Well, we have to fix the other ones. Okay, now. Maybe they weren't laying down?
I think they were standing or had her back to the killer. Because if he was right-handed, we can start here and then we'll work
Back
its
to
way
the
back.
killer?
But that may not necessarily be the truth. The victim was
If her
lying-
back was to the killer, then they were probably standing up.
was killed upright. The victim struggled on the ground.
The victim didn't struggle.
Yeah, now we have to work our way all the way back and around and through to fucking get this right. Sheesh. Okay. Ground was dirty. The knees and the bottom of the dress are at the front are clean. No, we don't have to fuck with that one. Victim didn't struggle on the ground.
The victim was killed upright. They were standing. Taller. Shorter.
No, she did not have her neck wrong.
There is only one wound to the neck. Oh, okay. That's probably wrong. His height.
So is the victim or the killer taller or shorter or the same
Same.
height? There you go.
We have two possibilities.
Should bet
The
you had me
first
do
is that
wrong,
Liz
so we have to go
Stride's
back and
killer
figure out
and the
which one it
attacker,
was.
seen by Schwartz, were one and the
Oops.
same man. The second is that
I'm not
Liz
surprised.
Stride meets a client. After some discussion, they head towards Dutfield's yard to do their business. As soon as they arrive, the attacker appears while his accomplice keeps watch. Schwartz's arrival dissuades the two men from lingering. They leave the area and leave Liz Stride in a tense state, but glad to have kept her client. He will be her murderer. Both hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will serve to corroborate one of them. An incongruous detail that we were able to establish regarding the Hanbury Street murder. Which one would that be, Watson? Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link between the murder of Liz Stride and those of Nichols and Chapman.
Okay, Watson. This will be the last thing we do before we leave. What are the two details that are similar to the other murders?
No, that's not it.
No, it's not.
The bag of pastels, Holmes.
The bag of pastels. Indeed, Watson. If this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have held onto this bag in her hand? It didn't fall because this woman's hand tensed at the moment when she fell to the ground. Therefore, Watson, we know the killer distracted his victim's attention by making them take something out of their pockets. Why didn't he slit her throat like the others? He must have feared a struggle with this strong-willed woman. Why didn't he eviscerate her? Because Louis Diemschutz arrived.
Do you think the Whitechapel killer is behind this murder, Holmes?
Yes, and now this murder has been linked to its rightful perpetrator, it will take on deeper meaning when we have examined the facts from that night. Let's go to Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes was killed. And make haste, Watson, as we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Here we are, Watson, Mitre Square. It took us a mere 20 minutes to get here. If the killer left Dutfield's yard around 1 o'clock, as we assume, he would have arrived here at around 1:20 a.m. We know that Catherine Eddowes' body was discovered at 1:44 a.m. Catherine was released from prison around 1 o'clock, but we have no information as to what she could have been doing until her death. This place has 3 possible ways out. Let's see where they lead. As a precaution, I brought an old map of the area with me. It will help us get our bearings.
But now,
Let's hurry, Holmes. This neighborhood makes me ill at ease.
man, Watson's just like, I don't like the ghetto, yo. Can't do it.
Racist.
Can't do it. But anyway, we have the old map. We have everything we need to get started. And it will be my turn once again once we come back. But for now, we are going to call it quits for now. So we will see you guys then.